Hi all, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be talking about exception handling. In the previous videos, we have seen about how to go around with global exception handler, how to handle various type of exceptions using global exception handler. But there could be times where you do not want to go with global exception handler. Instead, you're using an RE framework and you want to go with a try catch. In any situation you must have a very clear understanding about try catch. So today we'll be seeing that only, that how can we utilize try catch. So we have three things basically in try catch. So now suppose if I know or if I have a doubt that this particular invoke workflow which I'm doing here may throw an exception. So I would want to surround it with a try catch. So one thing is that you search here for try catch block and you then drag it, and then you place this thing, like you drag it here and then you drag in all the codes over here in the try block. The other thing what you can do is, if you want this particular workflow to be surrounded by try catch, so you can just click a right click and then you would get this surround with try catch, and as you click this particular workflow would be surrounded by try catch. So any piece of code or any workflow invoking or anything, any activity which you think may throw an error and you do not want to have an abrupt end of your program, you would put that thing in try catch. Now, there has to be one catch associated with the try catch. So one catch is a mandatory thing. You ought to have it. So now I'll just, you see here it's written add new catch, and as you click on it you would get a drop down here from which you can select that what type of exception are you expecting out of this invoke workflow. So there could be n number of exceptions. It could be an argument exception, it could be a null reference exception, it could be an IO exception, it could be an invalid operation exception, and it could be any type of exception which you were not aware of, but when this particular process was running on production, that particular exception arrived. So it is always recommended, always, that you have a system.exception always in your catch, because all other exceptions are derived from system.exception only, because this is the base class of all the type of exception. So if there is any exception which you did not forecasted but it arrived, it would be catched here in system.exception. Now there could be a lot of things which you want to do when the exception arises. As of now I'll be just logging whatever the exception is, and I can log it with error or I can log it with a warning message if I just want to warn, and if I just want to notify that there was an exception but I'm anyways moving ahead, so that could be a warning. It could even be an info, but usually in the, if it's an exception, it has to be an error, it has to be a fatal, or it has to be a warning. So I'll do this thing with error, and here I'll be logging my exception message. So I'll say exception in login, and now I want a detailed message to be printed about my exception, that what was the exception. So I would do exception dot message, which which exception dot message would contain a detailed exception or a detailed description about your exception. So I've done this. Now if there is any exception here in this try block, it would get here in catch block. The bot would log this particular thing notifying us that there was an exception, and then the finally gets executed no matter whether there was an exception or there wasn't an exception. So it always gets executed. So I'll just write in finally block. A lot of time in interviews you are asked that, or you are asked to just explain in a very basic language or in a layman language what actually is try catch. So in try you put all the code, all the activities, then in catch you catch any exception that may occur in your try block. You catch them, you categorize them, and finally is executed no matter there was an exception or there wasn't an exception. So that's a basic understanding of try catch block. So now if I talk about this workflow, what am I doing here is I am just simply logging into UI demo. I'm opening the application, I am entering the user ID and password, and I'm clicking on login. Now, suppose it opened the application, but due to some reasons it did not open. Then what will happen? Now, if I just run this thing, which will log into UI demo, and I'll try to throw an exception, and in that case we'll see how actually the exception gets caught and what further steps can we take. Now what I want to achieve is that OK Robot is trying to log into this UI demo application, but in case if there is any issue while logging in, I want the bot to close the application and then try again. So that's what you usually do whenever you're dealing in with a case wherein you have to log in and all. So this is what we usually do in real time projects, that we close the application and then we try doing it again. So there will be an exception in try. It would come to catch, it would close the application. Along with that, I even want this thing to be retried so that the bot retries. So for that we have retry scope, and let's use it. So if I drag in a retry scope, so I'll put in my this try catch thing into the retry scope now. So put it here, and let me just take it to the first, make it first activity. Okay. So when you select this retry scope, you get here conditions, that how many times you want to keep retrying and what is the retry interval. That I got an error, I executed, I took the actions what I had to take in catch. Now I have to retry after 5 seconds or after 3 seconds. So that is retry interval. So I'll make it 2 seconds. And here you have the condition. So here you can have a condition. Now, what condition can I keep? Okay, so the one thing is that I just leave it as it is, and retry scope would only be retried when there is an exception. Retries the contained activities as long as the condition is not met or an error is thrown. So there could be one thing, that if I want to retry, I have to retry. So I throw an exception from here. So it would go to the retry scope and see if there is an exception, that then that means that I have to retry. If there is not an exception, then I can just move ahead. Or if I've given a condition in retry scope, then that would be checked. So as of now, I've not given any condition on retry scope, that what should be the condition based on which I have to retry. So I can do this thing, that I drag in an element exist and check that whether the application has been logged in or not. And if it has been logged in, I can put a condition here that do not retry. If that particular thing, if I have not been logged in, that element does not exist, based on that condition I retry. So there are two ways. One is that I put a condition, or otherwise I throw an exception. So I would throw an exception, that new exception. That's how you create an exception object whenever you have to throw any type of exception. The login failed. And let me just run to show that how have we used all these things, the try catch, then the logging in the catch block, then the closing of the applications, and then the retry scope. So let me just debug this thing. So when the bot would open that login application, I would explicitly close that login application so that an error is thrown, because that's our goal. We want to see this thing only, that what happens when the error is thrown. So it's as of now opening the UI application demo. Let's wait for it to open. So we got an error here only, that the system cannot find the path because you've given a wrong path. And we got this red thing which usually indicates that there is an error. And I'll now step into one by one so that we can actually see. So because this has been put in a try catch, so it would come out, it would get catched here in the catch block. Now it would close the UI demo application. So that would not happen as of now. And if we'll get error, we can do this thing that we put in a continue on error true. So we would get an error probably. Okay, so because we do not have the application open, so it couldn't close. Now we'll throw the exception. So once we throw the exception, so we've thrown it here and we are on the main workflow. So we have the exception here in try catch. Now it would go back to retry. Because we have the exception and we have not mentioned any condition of the retry scope, but we have thrown the exception. So what it would do, it has again re-executed the same thing. We had try catch, it did fail, but it has re-executed because we have retry scope here. Because we have given 3 retries, again there would be an exception and again it would retry. So this retry scope basically is used when you are dealing in real-time projects and you know that the site you're trying to log in would take a lot of time and all these things. So in those scenarios, this thing usually helps a lot, the retry scope, because it could be that your file did not get opened in the first go due to network issue or due to any reason. So you try to keep it in try catch, do a proper exception handling so that you do not get that error. So that's how you use this retry scope thing. Let me just copy the path, go back here, go to UI demo login, UI demo application, and let me change the path here. Now this thing would work, the UI demo login. So now usually you throw an exception when you want to pass it to the outer workflow or to the main workflow. You can even rethrow an exception wherein you need not to create an exception object, because when I drag in a rethrow, you would not see any property wherein you have to enter anything. Whereas in throw, you see, you create an exception object and you throw the exception. So this is the main usage, and based on your scenario, you can use either throw exception or rethrow exception. Rethrow just catches the exception, whatever has arisen in this catch block of main.xaml, and would throw it to the outermost XAML. So now suppose if I'm rethrowing an error from here also I have a try catch and I don't want to perform any action here in case of exception. Instead, I want to pass that exception to the main workflow and the action has to be taken there. So this is one scenario wherein you will be using rethrow. So you need not to do anything, you just have to drag in a rethrow. So it would rethrow the exception to the outer container or to the main workflow which has called this UI demo login, so which is main.xaml. So now the exception would arrive here. Because I have rethrown, so it would not go in try of this thing and would directly come in catch. And here I can take any action. I can close the applications, I can send the mails. So all those activities I perform here in catch block. So now if I remove everything, throw and rethrow, now what will happen? So if I'm not putting anything in catch, like I'm not throwing it to the main workflow or I'm not rethrowing it to the main workflow, then what is actually happening? The exception is getting consumed in the catch block. So if you keep throwing the or rethrowing the errors to the main workflow, that would again lead to an abrupt end of your program. In the outermost workflow, when we have reached outermost workflow, it's like, let me open a notepad. So suppose there is a main file, okay, which has called another inner file 1, which has called another inner file 2, and I got an exception here in inner file 2. I have rethrown the exception and it got caught in inner file 1. Again, I have rethrown the exception and it has arrived to main.xaml. Now from here also, if I throw or rethrow an exception, so this is the parent. It does not have any workflow above it. So here I have to consume the exception. I don't have to throw or rethrow it. Instead, I have to perform some action. I have to inform my support team. I have to close all the applications and processes that are being used in the process and stop the flow there and then. So usually in the main workflow or in the outermost workflow, you consume the application exception. And how do you consume the exception? You consume it by not using throw or rethrow. You consume it here, you log it, you send the mail, you close all the applications, and then you can perform any task which you have to perform. No matter there is an exception or there isn't an exception, you write that thing in finally blog. So this is how exception handling usually works in real time scenarios. Also, you categorize exception that okay, in the try block, if there is a system exception, I gotta do these set of activities. If there is a business exception, I gotta do this set of activities. If there is a null reference exception, I gotta do this set of activities. So in that scenario, you need to have multiple catch here and you can have n number of catch here. So I want to even tackle null reference exception. Then I also want to tackle business rule exception. So I'll go to browse for types. I'll type business rule exception and I'll click on OK. And so if it's a null reference exception, then you would want to perform n number of activities here. So you can keep dragging all the activities you want to perform in case there is a null reference exception. I want to loop, I want to update my status, I want to send mail, anything. If it's a business rule exception, then I have to send a mail or I'll have to have a message box here. I'll have to write line something. So based on your exception, so over here you can see that we have three types of exception. In case of any exception other than null reference and business rule exception, everything would be got here in this exception. In case there is a null reference exception, it would come here in this catch and these set of activities would be performed. In case if it's a business rule, the control would come here and all these set of activities is performed. So that's how you modify your try catch. You actually do exception handling in real time scenarios to handle different type of exceptions. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching the video and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel.